Hi guys, and welcome back to another Gab's cryptocurrency video where we trade by data and not by hype. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out daily technical analysis like this. And for today's video guys, we are going to talk about two things. Number one is this RSI within the weekly time frame. We are going to give you an update and take a look at this data kasi I think this is a data which no one is paying attention sa most videos nakikita ko recently and lately. And on top of that, after that, we're going to dive in within the very short term kung ano na ba nangyayari for the Bitcoin price action for the very short term. Well, with that being said, let's now dive into this video and let's first dive into the weekly time frame muna kasi as you can see, this is the Bitcoin weekly time frame data na meron tayo. And either way na if buksan mo si log chart or yung linear chart, you can actually see this data na ipapakita ko sa inyo, and that is actually by looking at the weekly RSI. Kasi if you're going to look at the weekly RSI, traditionally, whenever na RSI is below the 30 threshold dito sa ito, let's try to open the RSI. Whenever na we are below the 30 threshold, that is indicating that is Bitcoin is actually oversold, indicating that there are a lot of sellers and then it's actually a good time to buy. So whenever na we are entering below the 30 threshold, that is a signal for a buying opportunity. And we have seen countless of those times previously in the history ng Bitcoin. And whenever na we are above the 70 threshold, that is more likely indicating na that is a time to sell. So we have seen those times ka din na umakit siya above the 70 threshold. So that is a selling opportunity. But let's now dive into dito within the Bitcoin price action. Because if we're going to look at this Bitcoin price action in the historical data, look at this. There are only 3 times in history wherein Bitcoin became oversold within the RSI, and those times are actually 2015. So 2015, the second time was the 2019 period, and then the last time was the current 2022 period. So let's try to dive in dito sa ating mga previous historical data, and let's try to infer some analysis using the historical data. So if you're going to dive in dito sa sa mga previous Bitcoin data, sorry, nag-notify yung phone ko. But yeah, let's now dive in dito sa ating Bitcoin data. Let's try to look back in 2015. Previously in 2015, Bitcoin went below the 100 moving average within the weekly time frame. And then after that, as you can see, we saw a massive drop dito and a massive decline dito kay Bitcoin. And as you can see, if you're going to look at that closely, itong movement na yan, after that massive drop, what happened after dito kay Bitcoin was we saw a Bitcoin RSI going below the 30 threshold. So as you can see, we saw that massive drop dito kay Bitcoin and then we entered below the 30 threshold for a short time dito kay Bitcoin around 2015 January. Then after that, after natin ma-enter yan, we actually tried recovering to the upside, and then after that, nagkaroon ulit siya ng one more big drop dito kay Bitcoin. But as you can see sa next big drop natin, hindi tayo nakita ng oversold sa RSI. What happened instead is the RSI has started increasing, and that is a typical sign of a bullish divergence. Diba? Traditionally, bullish divergence is wherein the price is declining while RSI is increasing. So those are traditional signs of a bullish reversal. And as you can see, nung period na yon, we saw that exact scenario happening wherein Bitcoin price was declining still, but the RSI is still increasing. So that has led into a massive movement to the upside. And that was the only time na naging oversold siya sa ating weekly time frame noong 2015. Ever since that, hindi na natin nakita yung ganong scenario ulit nung bumalik tayo around the 2019 crash. And as you can see, noong 2019 naman, similar thing with what happened in 2015, nag-break tayo below the 100 MA dito sa ating weekly time frame. And as you can see, we quickly went below the 30 RSI dito sa ating weekly time frame, and that became oversold, indicating na another buying opportunity for the long term. And even though na we tried consolidating and we tried recovering, we still saw a massive drop pa din dito kay Bitcoin. But as you can see, if you're going to look at the RSI closely, RSI has also began to increase. So, tumaas din yung RSI niya. So, in that case, that has led into another bullish reversal dito for the Bitcoin price noong 2019. So, as you can see, we are seeing those two patterns from the historical Bitcoin price action. And then right now, ano ba nangyayari dito with the Bitcoin price action? So, let's try to zoom in ngayon within the 2022 time frame. Let's try to remove the drawings and then look at the data ngayon. So, as you can see, dito din kay Bitcoin, we also went below the 100 MA, similar thing with what we saw sa mga previous movement. We saw a similar decline din dito kay Bitcoin. Oops, mali. We saw a similar decline dito kay Bitcoin, and a similar decline below the 100 MA. And after that, we actually briefly touched the 100, or we briefly entered the 30 RSI in the weekly time frame then. So similar thing. And then right now we tried recovering then, but as you can see, we are still going to the downside. But take a look at the RSI. Kasi look at the RSI. RSI has started increasing na din. And yun na nga, if this is going to replicate the historical movement, then this could be also another potential entry opportunity for you for the long term. So, di ba, I know I have been saying this for the whole year na, for the whole 2022 na it's a good time to buy Bitcoin ever since nung bumagsak tayo talaga below the 100 MA. I have been telling you to buy Bitcoin. Kasi look at this, whenever na we are below 100 MA, that is a typical sign of a good investment opportunity for the long term. Not only within the 100 but also the 200 MA. But for this video, we are going to focus 100 MA. As you can see, whenever na we are below 100, that is a good time to buy for the long term. So, ito yung mga areas na yan na wherein we are below the 200 MA or 100 MA pala is actually a good sign to enter the crypto market regardless kung saang area na yan. Kasi if you're going to look back dito within the Bitcoin price action, let's try to go back nung 2015 ulit. Let's try to replay the chart dito and let's try to look at this data na yan. If let's say wala kang kaalam-alam na si Bitcoin ay aakyat doon above the area na yan. If let's say bumagsak si Bitcoin ng malakihan after nung November 2014, let's try to clear the chart para makita natin siya ulit. Ito, let's try to clear the chart and then ayan. As you can see, malaki na kayong binagsak ni Bitcoin. If let's say bumalik ka dito ng Bitcoin around this area, as you can see, ang laki pa rin ng binaba niya. But would that matter in the long run? Well, if you're going to continue this chart, let's try to continue forward dito sa chart na to. If let's say we are going to move forward dito sa chart na to, if let's say mag-move forward tayo dito after this period na yan, ayun o, bumagsak pa siya further but the RSI is still increasing even though na bumili ka around this area na yan, nung sa below 100 MA, at kahit bumagsak pa siya even further, would that matter in the long run? Well, if you're going to look back dito within the overall chart, let's try to open that chart again. Let's try to go back doon. If you're going to look at that period after that, it won't matter in the long run kasi as you can see, regardless kung saan ka bumili below the 100 MA, as long as nakabili ka below the 100 MA at as long as nag-oversold siya, that is a good opportunity pa din. Kasi look at this. Ever since that, we haven't looked back there. We haven't went back to that area ever since and we just continued to the upside whenever na we went below. So, I know, even though na nag-decline siya, even further, let's say ilang percent yung dinecline niya, even though na-decline pa siya, 44% lower pa, as you can see, in the long run, it doesn't matter kasi as you can see, yung negative 44% ng pagbagsak, na-recover naman siya na around at least 3,000% from the coming months to come or for the coming years to come. So, it will take time kasi look at this is 2015, but as you can see, nag-recover siya up until 2018, and then from there on, we just continue to the upside na lang dito with the Bitcoin price action. Same goes din dito within the 2019 area. We went below this area then, but as you can see, it won't matter kung saan ka bumili kasi ever since that, after that, we just went to the upside na lang din and we just continued. So regardless kung magkaroon ka ng loss because of that movement na continue pa rin siya bumaba kahit nakapag-buy ka na, it won't matter in the long run kasi as you can see, we are still going to recover those amount pa din for the Bitcoin price action. And then as you can see right now, di ba, my sentiment generally has been buy whenever na we are below this area and whenever na we are oversold sa RSI. As you can see, regardless kung saan ka bumili dito, I think this is an opportunity for the long term. So yeah, right now, this is a very good investment opportunity for the long term dito with the Bitcoin price action. As you can see, we are below 100 MA and we are also oversold sa RSI. So right now, this is a good time for you to enter the long term. And take note, some data models can be wrong, but at least it can give us an idea on what can we expect for the coming days to come. Hindi man siya maging accurate, but at least may idea tayo sa pwede mangyari for the future. So yeah, right now, this is what we are seeing with the Bitcoin price action, and this is what we can infer from this data from the weekly time frame. And take note, if gusto niyo matuto kung paano ba mag-trade Bitcoin, if you want to learn how to long or short Bitcoin, you can actually check out this tutorial video and this tutorial playlist, this Gab's Crypto 101 playlist. You can find this in the description down below. Or you can actually type to search bar sa YouTube, Gab's Crypto 101. And then you will find this free Crypto 101 playlist all for free. And take note, take advantage of this 0 fees on BYBIT. So make sure to use my sign up link that you can find in the description down below, and you can actually claim up to 30,000 US dollars of bonus if you're going to use my sign up link. And you can also take advantage of merch giveaways, a feature if let's say you are going to sign up with my sign up link. So that is what we are currently seeing for the weekly time frame. Let's now dive in within the very short term, and let's try to look at the data and understand what is happening right now. So as you can see, if you're going to zoom out within the 4-hour time frame, we are still consolidating between this support and resistance area ni Bitcoin, but there is a clear trend ngayon, and that is we are seeing a massive rejection within the 50 MA sa 4-hour time frame. So that is wherein we got a massive rejection right now dito kay Bitcoin price action. So may malaking rejection around the 50 MA, but take a look at this. Right now we are seeing some doji candles sa ating 4-hour time frame dito sa 4-hour time frame. So this could be a potential reversal dito. So we are going to watch this movement and monitor this within the next few hours if we are going to indeed see a reversal. And on top of that, this is also a support area right now with the Bitcoin price action, this area na yan. So yeah, right now we are going to monitor and watch out for this area if we are going to see a trend reversal dito with the Bitcoin price action. So let's try to check out mamayang 8 PM if makakita tayo ng candle close na, let's say, magkaroon siya ng reversal indicators dito. Let's try to monitor that within the coming hours. But right now, this is what we are seeing within the early time frame or 4-hour time frame with the Bitcoin price action. And yeah, I'm hoping that we are going to see a bounce dito. And that is what I'm going to watch out within the coming hours dito kay Bitcoin price action. But anyway, ayun muna update natin for the time being. If you find this video useful and informative, please give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.